we're going to share this broadcast. I'm John Ehrlichman. I'm going to share it, and Mark's going to share it too. So we're going to view this.
Hello.
It pops up in your screen.
Okay.
You see this. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
It should show up, and then I'm going to turn down my volume.
That's a bit meta.
Always the rules of Periscope, of course.
Okay.
And then I'm going to share this with my followers like that. And let's see.
My thing didn't pop up.
Oh, there you are. We're live. Okay. So we can, when that loads, you can share with your followers.
I'll do that. Let me just turn down the volume first.
There you go. Hey guys, come on into the broadcast. We hope you'll share too. I'm John Ehrlichman, one of the contributors at Parachute TV, and today we are at the LA Tech Summit, which is a really cool event here in Los Angeles that brings together a lot of top minds in technology, the future of entertainment, the future of media, and as this busy guy is busy sharing this right now, just a little context on Mark. He's one of the best known venture capitalists in this great city of Los Angeles, and I guess we're technically in Santa Monica.
We are.
But
is kind of part of LA.
Yes, it definitely is, and that's one of the stories of the tech scene here in LA, whether it's Venice or Santa Monica or downtown Los Angeles. Mark has been a successful entrepreneur and a successful venture capitalist, and he's somebody who also thinks about the world of video. He was an early investor in Maker Studios, for example, which was sold to Disney.
That's true.
So we can ask him questions about what he thinks about this crazy world of Periscope and live streaming. But first, I just wanted to get his take on the whole scene of tech here in LA. What is your impressions when you come to an event like this? You were just moderating a session on the LA tech scene.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. I think people have a misunderstanding of what's actually happening in LA and the history of LA. So first of all, stating the obvious, we're the second largest city in the country.
True.
16 million people in greater LA versus 7 million people in the greater Bay Area. And that's not saying we're better. I just want to draw some context for people.
No, it's good context.
In Los Angeles, we graduate more engineers from top 25 universities, engineering universities, than anywhere else in the city. Hey, can you just go a little bit down there? Because I can't hear with you saying that.
It's the reality of Periscope.
It's live.
We're
it's
here.
Live.
We could be doing this in like the trunk of my car or something.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about Periscope. Anywhere, anytime. And we saw that, by the way, with the awful attacks in Paris, the fact that you had people on the ground who were anywhere and could right away broadcast. But you were saying.
Yeah, no, so we graduate more people from top 25 engineering schools than anywhere else in the country.
Yep.
And we have more engineering graduates than anywhere else in the country. Historically, a lot of those people went to Northern California to seek jobs in like consumer internet, B2B internet. But if you went to school here, if you grew up here, most people want to stay here. It's a wonderful city, wonderfully diverse, a lot going on. And those opportunities are finally available to people. So whether it's Snapchat or Tinder, whether it's Maker Studios, whether it's people like you saw, we were talking to Me Too Network, which is now the largest provider of digital media for Latinos.
Huge.
Doing a lot of online video. But there are just a lot more opportunities, but there's also hard sciences here. You've got SpaceX here, you've got Hyperloop here, with Ubeam here. So really, it's a big, diverse place with a lot of really talented people who love the mixture of art and entertainment and culture and technology. And it's a great place to live.
We're going to talk with Mark Schuster of Upfront Ventures for a couple more minutes, and we're going to take a couple of your questions too. And the great score star, or Caroline Leslie, is behind the lens, and she's monitoring your comments right now, so we'll take some. But when you were sort of the first establishing group of VCs here in LA, it was a smaller group. Yeah. There was less money coming here.
True.
Was there a signature moment, something that kind of changed? Is it the fact that video is everywhere now? Was that one of the big factors?
Well, first of all, we were founded in 1996.
Yeah.
It's true there were a lot less startups back then. But in our first fund, we funded a company called Overture. You probably know Overture. They had a website called goto.com. And Bill Gross, who founded Idea Lab, he created the monetization for the web. Like, Google wasn't willing to do sponsored ads, and he did sponsored ads, and it became a very big company. Now, it didn't become Google,
right?
But we sold it to Yahoo for $1.65 billion. It wasn't a bad outcome.
Not too shabby.
Right? And so when you think about monetization of the web, it came from there. When you look at today's incubator, accelerator landscape, you have obviously Y Combinator, probably the best known. But the original one was in Pasadena called Idea Lab. and something like 35 IPOs and major exits have come out of Idea Lab. Overture is one of those. But also City Search came out of there. A lot of the domain companies came out of there. eSolar came out of there. The other thing a lot of people don't know is a lot of monetization companies overall from Southern California, Commission Junction, Price Grabber, Shopzilla. So what LA has always understood how to do is how to make money.
Yeah.
And what we're now understanding how to do is how to build tech at scale. But also, let's take social networking. The first really big social networking company, MySpace, in LA.
True.
So in the past, we produced the companies, they just never got to the next level, and I think that's what's starting to change.
The great score star behind the lens. Are we getting any questions that people are curious about? I know I have one more question I'd love to ask.
We have a question. What's one thing you look for in companies that pitch for funding?
What's one thing I look for? Well, 70% of my decision is the team and the people. So I'm looking, do you have unique experiences that are going to make you more likely to succeed in what you're doing than other people would? I'm looking for, what is your vision? What's your inspiration? Are you looking to make a quick dollar? Or do you really want to change something and work on something for the next 7 to 10 years? I view these as projects that I'm going to work on for 7 to 10 years of my life. And I have to know that you're committed to that. Nothing great is ever created in 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah. So it's the entrepreneurs that are really passion driven, that have a desire to do something fundamental for years, as opposed to a desire to figure out how to make a quick buck.
Let me ask a real quick question since we're on Periscope right now. As Mark just noted, an investor in Me Too, which basically in its roots was trying to figure out how to bring together that world of YouTube and great content and build lasting businesses. You were an investor in Maker Studios, one of the biggest exits here in the Los Angeles area through the Disney sale. I saw you on Meerkat very early on, and I occasionally see you here on Periscope, so thanks for sharing this with your followers. What do you think about the business prospects for live streaming, for things like Periscope?
Yeah, and so I would start by saying there's a lot of use cases that live stream is valid for. Obviously, it's valid for behind the scenes kind of events where you wouldn't typically put something in real time. It's really good for AMAs, Ask Me Anything. It's really good for Q&A sessions, which is just a different way of saying AMA. And frankly, I think it's good for kind of live interviews. You can get a discussion going, you can get real-time feedback from the crowd. It's great for news, for breaking events, where people want to see what's happening on the ground now. So I think it's so early in the medium that we don't really know how it's going to evolve, but it's not going to be just like media with a different format. It's going to evolve with its own characteristics.
I know this man has to run soon, but I'd be breaking one of the rules of Periscope if I didn't say, come on, let's take some of your questions.
We had a couple of questions, if you have time for them. One of them is, how often do you scope?
So I kind of vacillate up and down. Like, there are moments in time where I have a lot more time available, and I'll sit and I'll just do 3 or 4. What I really like is I like AMAs. And to do that, I usually need someone else to do it with me, because it's really hard, because to read the questions and answer the questions and respond at the same time is very difficult. So I've done a few in the office where I'll set it up and I'll either do Meerkat or Periscope. Every now and again, like when I'm on vacation, sometimes I'll be sitting around drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, and I'll just turn it on and just talk to people. And I like, you know what I crave? I crave the interaction. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with Periscope. Can I say what's wrong with Periscope?
You can.
The commenting system sucks. So the comments go off the screen.
In Meerkat,
so
they're stickier.
In a Meerkat, you can scroll up and down, and you can go back and look at things. The ephemeral nature, it's wrong. You need to fix your product.
And I had to memorize these questions.
Right? So you know. I don't know why they don't fix that.
We're getting to another question.
Okay, the other question was, people wanted to know what it took for you to get where you are right now.
Which includes, by the way, selling highly successful companies before technically becoming a venture capitalist.
Appreciate it. So look, let me just quickly tell you my journey. I started out as a programmer, right? So I actually built software for several years. I managed projects. I then got an MBA. I don't think an MBA is necessary, but I got one, University of Chicago. I think taught me the fundamentals of business and finance and forecasting and accounting and marketing and other things. I started a company. Honestly, the first thing you need to do is start. Like most people, I call them entrepreneurs. They want to do a startup, but they don't. And that filters out, not joking, 99% of people who say they want to do it, only 1% ever do anything. So I started a company. My first company was okay. We sold it. I made a little bit of money. It was fine. But my second company, I knew what I was doing. So we went in, we timed the market well, we built a great product. Salesforce.com bought us. I became VP product at Salesforce. It's a wonderful company. They've continued to succeed. And then VCs were looking for more people with operating experience. So you take someone who's a former developer, database architect, did project management, and actually built software companies, 2 of them. And they wanted more people like me. So I got the door open. And I tell this story all the time. They actually gave me a really shitty offer. Like they gave me, they gave me a really shitty offer. And I just thought, it doesn't matter. Because the door's open, just a crack. If I get in and I suck, I'll just go back to being an entrepreneur. If I get in and I'm okay, then I earn the right to ask for more. And so many people ask for so much up front that no pun intended, that I think you often don't have the opportunity to prove yourself. So if you believe in yourself, and if you have the door cracked open and you can just put your foot in a little bit, then you earn the right to show what you're made of. So fast forward, I joined in 2007, and by 2012 I became managing partner, and I run up front with my partner Eve. And it's really, I got the door cracked open, and hopefully I did a decent job.
Well, it looks like you are. Thank you for sharing your insight. This man is on Periscope at M. Suster.
Yes.
Just like on Twitter.
One of the very few people who actually pronounce my name correctly.
Thank you.
Most people say Schuster.
This is Parachute TV. We're the real deal here.
It says sister with a U, but it's actually pronounced Schuster.
And you will go on Periscope and you will do answering questions and
anytime.
Morning coffees perhaps if he's on vacation. But follow him on Twitter as well, and of course go check out Upfront.
And come hang out at our new offices and let's do it up there.
There you
Santa
go.
Monica. I'd love to have you.
Sounds good. Thank you everybody on Parachute TV.